Here we have a neuron. Represented by this iPhone charger is the soma or cell body. This contains the nucleus. Connected to the soma or cell body are what are called dendrites, represented by these pretzel sticks. Dendrites receive information and conduct it towards the cell body. On the other side of the cell body, we have the axon, represented by these sticks of gum. The axon passes messages along to other neurons. Now, the axon would be the actual pieces of gum, but the axon is covered by a myelin sheath, which would be the paper wrapper outside of the gum. The myelin sheath is made of Schwann cells, and these gaps, like here and here, are what are called nodes of Ranvier. These help impulses travel faster. Connected to the axon are the terminal branches, represented by these paper clips. These are what form branches with other cells. Through action potential, neurotransmitters are sent down from here, down the axon to the terminal branches to wherever they link up next. Neurotransmitters then hit the receiving neuron. When the cell is at resting potential, aka when it is not sending an impulse or message, this is the potential the electrical potential of the neuron. This is when the sodium ions are outside of the cell and the potassium ions are inside of the cell. The sodiums would be the purple sweet tarts, and the potassium would be the blue sweet tarts. Depolarization is the first step in sending a signal, otherwise known as action potential. When the cell gets depolarized, the potassium channel closes, the sodium channel opens, and ions rush through, causing depolarization. When the cell gets repolarized, this is when it is done sending a signal and it is back at resting potential. The sodium channel closes at repolarization and the cell becomes more negative. Action potential sends an impulse down the axon terminal from the cell body to the terminal branches and on to wherever it meets next. A neurotransmitter could be represented by this kernel of popcorn. The release of neurotransmitters depends on the excitatory and inhibitory transmitters. Inhibitory transmitters are like a brake on a car, telling it to slow down, and the excitatory neurotransmitters are like the gas pedal of the car, telling it to accelerate. If there's a big enough difference in the number of excitatory and inhibitory transmitters, that is when an action potential is fired.